At this time, what we'll do is show you the videos. The first video that I'll show is the Community Safety Coalition camera, which the initial call comes in. And again, this call received from Community Safety Coalition, the dispatch is 6:59 in the morning. Now I'll note for you that with these videos, the times are different. They're a few minutes off from each other. They're not all consistent, but you'll see the flow of the incident. And actually in the report that I will provide, there's a timeline for you as to when the relevant events are with respect to each camera as well. So I'm going to come around so I can actually see this while I'm showing it to you. So this is the initial. Go ahead. Let me start it. So he's in the. There's an overhang over top of him. He's got his belongings with him, and I'll show you pictures of that. And we'll fast forward this after this. This is obviously the urination. So we're going to fast forward a little bit because nothing much happens for the next approximately 10 minutes other than he's shuffling in and out of his belongings. What he does is he changes his shoes, changes his socks, he ties his shoes, cleans his feet, and you can stop it now. Just go from here. So he's changed his shoes and socks at this point in time. I think actually he doesn't put socks back on, he just puts sneakers back on, but you can see him tying them at that point in time. And there's Officer Delatorre arriving at 7:13 on this camera. The operator is following this at this point in time. At some point after he sees the police are there, he pulls away and it just goes to automatic. Witness B, if you can just rewind it just for a little bit, Andy. Witness B is actually over in this location on the other part of the underhang. You can't see him. This isn't going to show up on that screen. He's up here, past that. Yeah, there's some of his possessions. So that's where he is. So he's sitting there on his laptop. Okay, go ahead. Now the important thing that I'm looking for here is, are the police having physical custody, touching him? You can see that Mr. Bain has got his hands in his pocket. As we now know, there's a box cutter in there. He's scanning the perimeter. Obviously not know why, but he is looking around. So I'm looking for anything that would see that the police are not handling this properly. Are they putting hands on him, anything like that, in his face? And as you'll see, there's nothing like that. In fact, the only physical contact that they have with him, if you can say that, is when he exchanges his identification, and you'll see that. You can see that Mr. Bain is obviously agitated and actually approaches the.
You have broad shoulders. Could you lean down a little? We can't see.
Look, I mean, this is a press conference, so the media takes precedence here. This is not a public meeting. This is a press conference. I've allowed the public in as a courtesy, but the media needs to do what they need to do to get this. So it's up to you. It's your call. And do you have a problem? Because you can get out of here too. I heard your comment under your breath. I heard it It's not appreciated. This is a solemn event. Wipe the smile off your face. I'm talking about the death of a man in a
Right.
police shooting.
And it's a Constitution, the First Amendment. You can't say who's the media and who isn't. Please don't get it.
I absolutely know who the media
Don't
is. I
create
have
a
no problem
situation.
throwing you out of here. So keep your mouth shut. That's all I'm asking you to
Mr.
do.
Stedman.
You can stay here if you keep your mouth shut. Fair enough?
Control yourself.
You control yourself, and that's what I'm asking for.
You do.
One more thing, Mr. Harper, I'm going to ask you to leave, because you are now disturbing my conference.
You can back up and move over here.
I actually would appreciate it if you're not standing right
Back up
behind
and
me.
move over here with the rest of them. Thank you.
Okay. Now Kaminsky is in there. He's asked him for his identification, and you can see he tells him, Officer Delatorre asks him to step back. He points towards the wall, and he complies. Once again, Mr. Bain approaches him, and again, Officer Delatorre, you can see, gestures to him and tells him to step back. Now I'll note that, pause it for a second there, he's already tied his shoes just a minute or two before, a couple minutes before this. He's now retying them, even though he just tied them. You know, the speculation and the way I take that is he's getting ready to do something, and in fact does. Go ahead. Officer Delatorre has now gone off screen to call in to see if there's any warrants. Officer Kaminsky, you can see he's looking down. He doesn't anticipate anything taking place, and you'll see what happens. Okay, so I want to rewind that again. What you'll see and what you do see is that the police are nowhere near him. They're not approaching him. Delatorre is off screen calling it in. Kaminsky's standing there with his hands folded, and you'll see Mr. Bain goes into his pocket, pulls out the knife that you've seen, and goes right at Delatorre. Just real slow. And what he does is he takes it from his left pocket, and you'll see him shift it to his right hand as he's opening it. See him open it right there. He's now got it, and he's going right after Delatorre. Kaminsky's trying to close that in defense of his partner. And this video is critical to my analysis, in addition to the witness statements, that there's beyond all doubt that Bain commits a crime here. This is at least an aggravated assault on a police officer with a deadly weapon, and he is absolutely, without question, the only person that initiates the physical contact, the only person that's causing any threat. Delatorre is standing there talking on his radio. Kaminsky's standing there with his arms folded. No weapons are out. They're not doing anything. They're just calling it in. They're again responding to what is basically a quality of life issue. And Mr. Bain decides, for whatever reason, to pull out a 9-inch knife and go after Delatorre. I want you to show it again in fast speed. You can see how fast he covers that distance, which has to be approximately 10, 12 feet. I mean, he's going right there. It's 1, maybe 2 seconds for him to cross that. Now, we're able to reconstruct that essentially what's happening, what Delatorre's doing is moving back as he's trained to do, like this, then drawing his weapon to do that. He does not shoot at that point in time. What happens instead off screen is when Delatorre's backing up, and presumably because he's now got the weapon drawn on him, Bain shifts his attention to Officer Kaminsky with that knife, and the way it's described to me is slashing like this, like a figure 8 towards him.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Delatorre is off screen here.
Yes.
So how do you know what he's doing there?
Well, we have statements from both police officers. Remember, all of this is, what I'm telling you is my factual conclusions based on a combination of all the evidence. So, you know, I combine all the statements with all the witnesses in addition to the video and photographic and forensic evidence as well. So,
There's no camera angle that captures that.
no, you will see all the cameras, all the videos that captures everything on screen for this event will be shown this morning. Let me you know what? Let me go forward with my presentation, and then I'll answer every question from the media that you have. So I lost my train of thought, and that's how I shouldn't have taken the question. It was my fault. I let you do it. So the way it was both officers described to me was that he's approaching. He shifts to Kaminsky. He's coming after him like this with the knife that you've seen, and that's when Officer Delatorre fires the first shot. The shot misses him completely, and that shot is justified in the defense of other principles that I talked about previously. He's not defending himself. He does take a shot at Officer Bain to stop him from slashing his partner to death, or at best, causing serious bodily injury. That's what causes Bain then to start the flight, which you'll see some of which on camera. So go ahead and just show the very end of this, and then it goes off screen, and that's the end of it. But again, as I said, this is absolutely critical to me, and it leaves no doubt with anybody's mind that Bain causes this incident to take place and ratcheted up the potential use of deadly force. I don't know what was in his mind. We'll never know what was in his mind. That's not important to me for my analysis as to whether the police are justified in what they do, because now they have a situation of at least aggravated assault on a police officer. You've got a 6'3", 220-pound man now who's attacked the police, still has a knife, and is running loose in the city. So they have choices to make. So if you can switch to the second video, this video, you'll see it. So this is Orange Street looking up. If you can just keep it paused there, I'll orient everybody to it. You're going to see the pursuit come down this way across the street. You'll see Officer Naumann's car pull across to approximately here. I'll note again, witness E, it's here on this corner, and then crosses over on this side. Witness C is in a vehicle on Orange Street at this intersection, waiting at the light, and then witness D we haven't get to, and you'll see his viewpoint on the other camera. So what you're going to look for in this video is the pursuit coming from left to right, and you'll also see the Officer Kaminsky deploy the taser and holding, extending the taser, and you'll see Officer Naumann's pursuit. Go ahead. So there's Officer Naumann going forward. Can you stop it right there for a second, Ann? And we'll go back. This is his camera is actually pointed down here. So you can see that's why I'm not showing it to you. There's absolutely nothing on it. So back it up a little bit.
Is this real time, this video, or is there delays, or are they every?
So the real time. So that's Bain. You can see, back it up again if you would. Okay. There's Kaminsky in the middle of the officers. You can see he's got his arm extended with the taser. This is where he shoots him and hits him. The witness and witness C sees him pull that prong out right, sort of essentially in front of the right aid. Officer Naumann's actually in the lead because he came out of the cruiser and almost got him. Officer Delatorre is trailing behind. Why don't you just rewind the whole, so they can see the whole chase again. So you can see Officer Naumann get out of his car. Bain's leading it. That's good. Thanks. You can see him clearly with his arm extended with the taser, and that's where he shoots him with it. So there's nothing else in this view because they move down the street. So why don't we shift to the last one? And then it doesn't cover as much because you've got, so this is, you're going to see, pause it for just a second. So this is Queen Street. We're looking south down Queen Street here, so the right aid's over here off screen. You're going to see hardly anything here due to the camera angle and the obstruction from, the alcove and also from the awning. But what I want you to draw your attention to is up here at the top, you're going to see some feet. And the first one, you essentially see Bain come across here. You'll see Officer Nauman, and then the other two officers. I don't think you can see Kaminsky's feet. We'll see, but you'll see Jose Del Torre's feet. You'll see Mr. Bain go back into the alcove, and then he falls. And the witness D is right here, in the middle lane of traffic, just a few feet away, with a direct view of this entire, the final part of the incident. He stopped stationary and watches the whole thing. And again, I'll note that the times are different for each camera. Okay. Yeah,
When you
just
say
leave it.
that the times are off, mean that the
Times are
time is
inconsistent.
set.
They're not
Okay.
off. The cameras are inconsistent with each other. You'll see traffic just start to slow down when Officer Nauman pulls his vehicle in to the intersection. And then shortly thereafter, you'll see him. Okay, so now it'll be very shortly. That's Bain's feet. Goes back into the alcove, and that's when he's shot. He falls forward, which is consistent with his moving forward. If you're shot with a weapon and you're moving back, you're gonna fall straight or back. Same thing with stationary, but he's falling forward, which is consistent with what the witnesses say and witness D says. If you want to show that one again. This is Officer Del Torre here. His feet are closest to us. That will be Officer Kaminsky, who again misses with the taser first, and Nauman's in the middle. So what they've done is got him in a position where he doesn't have much to go. And there's Officer Nauman standing right there on the edge of the sidewalk. Yeah. So when he's shot, he's only a few feet away, 8 feet approximately, from Officer Nauman, and he's approaching him again with the knife after ignoring numerous commands to do so.